DreamHack Open is brought to you by Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Hacks, and GGBet.
Hello everybody and welcome back. We are approaching match number 4 here at the DreamHack Open in Tour for 2018. We've got some lovely pictures on screen right now of the wonderful city we are located in. It's a pleasure to be here once again, and I'm joined by Natu and Blair. Guys, we've seen 3 fantastic matches so far. The previous between Godsent and AGO was probably the most one-sided, but even AGO had their moments. But our first 2 matches were in extremely close contention. We saw a double overtime and a 16-14. What are you expecting now to see from our 4th match between HellRaisers and EnVyUs?
How honest do you want to be?
Honest? Really honest?
Yeah.
Be honest. I mean,
Honesty
why would you not be honest?
Is the best policy,
go
guys.
ahead.
Yeah.
Lay out the law.
All right, here's the thing, right? The first 2 games were close games, yes, but against teams we didn't really expect to do that well. We had Imperial and we had Torqued, right? This one's going to be HellRaisers, who in my books I think are kind of the favorites in this tournament, alongside the likes of a Gambit. And they're going to be facing off against EnVyUs. Look, I know we're in France. I know I don't want to disappoint. The crowd is gathered outside, but things don't look good for the French. Let's put it that way.
Well, things haven't looked great for a while for Team EnVyUs. On the other hand, HellRaisers are a team that have been on the rise. I think their best result recently was like 3rd at the recent Star Ladder we were at, Natu.
I mean, for me, the big picture right now, the French team is obviously in, I don't want to say in shambles, but it's
turmoil.
in a stage of turmoil. Yeah, that's a really, I think, a good solid word to use. And we don't really know what the future will hold for this lineup, for the G2 lineup. You know, Existence jumping into one of them, maybe. You know, you never know what's really going to be cooking underneath the surface. Obviously, contractual obligations.
French cooking is usually fantastic as well.
I would agree, yes. they do really good duck here, don't they?
Yeah, well, they do everything very well.
But yeah, no, I mean, this one here, HellRaisers, obviously, they were eyeing to go to the Pro League Finals, not able to go there to visa issues, and then coming here to play this tournament. I feel like they're obviously going to be very prepared. They haven't played any officials since the end of Pro League season, right? So they've had plenty of time, almost a month. I think like 3 weeks now, just to grind and practice, which they probably have for those Pro League finals. So I feel like we're gonna see a really fired up HellRaisers here.
Yeah, if you look at the last event
guys,
they played,
we have to move forward slightly faster now and take a look at
Get wrecked.
that second.
Absolutely
No, we have more than enough time to talk more, but we need to get that Group B up on screen so everybody at home is aware of exactly where it is at. So we saw North versus Imperial, referenced just shortly ago, 16-14 in favour of North, and now we are about to see HellRaisers versus Envy. Whoever loses this will play off against Imperial, and the winner will go on to play North later today. Remember, today, if you win your 2 best of ones, you go directly through to Sunday, and you don't have to play tomorrow, which means a nice little break. And so, yeah, there's a lot to play for on the line with regards to day 1. Now, let's talk about maps. We can get that veto up very soon, and you guys can start theorizing exactly who's going to be favored on what and where you think this might end up.
Cash.
Yeah, it's very possible, isn't it? Really hard to say, really, because I don't know, like, it's always really rough to be talking about it. And in a pre-game of a game where you don't really know what's going on with a team like Envy, they could be just pulling out a rabbit out of the hat and just go for something really crazy, you know, in terms of the veto.
The one thing I want to bring up is the fact that HellRaisers, their best map's no longer in the picture, right? Cobblestone's out of here. So they have to kind of adapt a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Cash and Overpass have always been maps that they've been very comfortable on.
So Overpass gets banned out the gate by Envy. Then we see Nuke going, Mirage, Train.
So it's going, it's going
the way you guys thought.
I think HellRaisers are going to have to veto.
Oh, dang,
there we go.
that was so close.
At the last hurdle, which means we end up on Inferno. arguably can be one of the most exciting maps in Counter-Strike and has been since its inception, Nato. And I think right now it's definitely a map that plays out fantastically when teams really get to grips on both sides of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a map that the banana is the definition of the map and how you manage to grasp it, take control of it. Because obviously CT sides, if you have it, you have much more information. T sides, it gives you a lot of room for making different type of plays. So it's a portion of the map that really always does get a lot of emphasis, but it's for a reason.
Yeah, let's focus in on HellRaisers in a bit more detail there, getting prepped and ready on the stage, and you can see them all there, except for Bondic, who seems to be missing right now.
I don't think he needs to even be there. That player over there.
And Woxic is now Dead Fox.
Okay.
No,
right.
Woxic is and
Woxic is Dead Fox.
Slightly mixed up here. So Woxic is in Isa's seat. Dead Fox is
in Woxic's seat. It's confusing.
I'm so confused. I can't even.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Forget about what's being shown
forget about
here.
what's on screen.
But Woxic is the player to watch, right? I mean, he was just tearing it up. Extremely explosive opera, one of the most exciting operas I've seen coming out in the recent past, right? And he's going to be instrumental, and he's never faltered as far as I've seen of late. Isa is his man in arms, so to speak, his brother in arms. He's been a great rifler as well. We have Angel calling for them, who's also a highly hyper aggressive, really solid veteran. And Dead Fox, he might be getting a lot of flack from many people. They're like, why does he belong to this team? But I've seen him play. When I saw him Betsnet Masters when they had a tight game against North, he really stepped up. There were lots of rounds where he was very instrumental in them winning out a very closely fought series.
Yeah, Natu, I feel like now in 2018, and it really grew over last year, as opposed to 2013, 2014, and way before into your time. Into your prime, I should say, is that these international lineups are becoming more and more common. It's almost not even a thing anymore, whereas when it became a big thing initially with like G2's first team, etc., and going forwards, it was something to talk about. It was like a moment that people would kind of be like, wow, is this going to work? Whereas now we just see it happening and it's kind of normal.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, and HellRaisers has embraced that for quite a while now, actually, having a very, very international team.
Very diverse.
Yeah. I feel like, the HellRaisers used to be like a team that was like it was like a stop on the way to the top divisions of Counter-Strike. If you go to their HOTV stats page or the team page of HellRaisers, you see like, I don't know, 50 players, it feels like, listed as the ex-players of HellRaisers. So they've gone through a handful of iterations of lineups, but I think this team it all surrounds around Angel, a dude that has a tremendous amount of experience, but still to this day is a very, very deadly player. I feel like he's always been very good at making intuitive plays as an individual on the CT side, but also calling for his team and being a leader that really leads up from the front. And I've always admired him for that, and it's always a lot of fun to watch. It might not be always fundamentally sound, so to speak, but from a spectator point of view, it's just a lot of fun to watch.
Exciting Counter-Strike.
No doubt, and we definitely have some players on Team EnVyUs that have at times delivered very exciting Counter-Strike. They've got a couple of superstar players, or at least once were. For instance, the likes of Scream and Keo, and of course...
Are you saying they're
RPK.
has-beens?
No,
Are you implying
not.
something?
There we go. Of course, our
something?
crowd is going to get behind them, being a French team
In
with one
front of
Belgian player.
In front of a home crowd, too.
I know.
Exactly.
What a mean man you are.
Come on. Man.
Yeah, and so... to clarify once again, didn't say that at all, but they're not at their peak, and I think that's hard to argue against. Keo, of course, major winner. RPK, storied history, really blew up during Source. Scream, known as one of the most fearsome 1v1 players and aim-orientated players out there. And then, of course, Happy, who at times has been a fantastic brain. And Haji, for me, is the addition that people have been talking about and wondering if he can fit in. Blair, maybe you'd like to talk a bit about on their current situation and composition.
I mean, I think that's the golden answer everyone's looking for, right? Like, what's really going on with this team? And like G2 as well, like that we mentioned earlier. This man on the screen, like, he has been the player to watch for me for EnVyUs during all their trials and tribulations, right? RPK has been a rock. He's been phenomenal. Of course, he had that, not injury, but I think it was sick a while back, early this year, right?
It was when he was at an event, if I'm not
mistaken.
mistaken.
At the major, right? I think. I'm not too sure about exact dates.
Yeah.
But ever since then, he's been a little bit more quiet, but he's still been a very solid player. So I don't want to, like, there's nothing much I can say about Haji. I mean, he's been doing his job, but there's so much you can do when a team is looking so dysfunctional, struggling so very hard, right? Happy has been picking up the open duties. He's been looking lackluster there. There's not been that great of a leadership, so to speak. Kiyoshima came back to the team. He's been also struggling, so to speak. This entire team as a whole, apart from RPK, you know, they have a lot to prove. At you know, just looking at the storyline we had this team in the past few months, we don't really know what's going to happen after this event, right? And how are they entering this event? Do they want to go out with the last hurrah, or do they want to, like, you know, still grind it out, try to make something happen in front of a home crowd? You know, lots of questions.
Yeah, one of my questions right now is about Kyo, because if you follow him on social media or just keep up to date with the players and what they're up to in their lives beyond the CSGO scene, he was just at a poker event in Malta, and so has he maybe been misplacing his time slightly? I'm not sure if it could affect him, but it's not necessarily the best when you see your player doing something completely opposite or different to the game when you have a tournament the week after. I don't know.
And they were playing a game as well, by the way, at that point in time. I think they had a stand-in. I forgot who it was.
Lambert, yeah.
Yeah.
Played against my team.
So there you go. More questions, no answers, unfortunately for you, Paula.
Listen, no.
How did it go against them?
That's not a question. That's an answer. That just tells you, if a player, days before a tournament that's happening on home soil, is in Malta playing poker, what the hell does it tell you? What the hell does it tell you?
He likes poker.
It doesn't exactly, you know, tell me they're fully motivated and ready and drawing and they'd be boot camping and this is the one time they're going to finally just rise from the ashes. They're going to be great. They're going to be worthy of the EnVyUs name. No, it just tells you that they're done. And this is just the last song that we're going to be enjoying.
You're getting rather dark here.
No, but and that was just a silly question to ask.
Well, last year it was G2 that won, so the French stop for DreamHack Open is currently still a French championship. I don't know if EnVy are going to be able to carry on that legacy. I'd love to see them have a great performance here, but I do favour HellRaisers in my own opinion.
Yeah,
that's logical.
There's no need to like throw the towel in though for EnVy, because it's still, you look at the lineup, you look at individual players. If they do find themselves in that groove, they definitely can do a lot of damage, just because of how good they are individually. And if they manage to communicate it well, it didn't really need to be that well prepared to do damage within this field of teams. Even though there's a lot of good teams here, they can still compensate just because of the experience that they have. I've seen that before, and it could definitely happen. But there's two sides to this. Either it's going to be at rock bottom, or they're going to be skyrocketing and play super high, super well. I don't think there's anything in between.
Blair, we do have to move forward, because I think Natu has another 3 reasons.
No, he does. Blair does.
Okay. Blair has 3 reasons brought to us by Hacks on why he favours one of these teams over the other.
All right. I mean, firstly, we just saw the map veto as well. I'll get to that later. So HR, why are they going to win? Firstly, if you look at the trajectory right now, HR have been on the rise. They won the Betsets Masters. They beat North. They beat a handful of teams over there. They're looking really solid, and they're an upward trajectory. And then reason number 2 is the complete opposite. EnVyUs are on a downward trend, and it's been going on. I think they're in a free fall at this point in time, right? So they're on a downward trend. That's pretty obvious. And reason number 3 will be the Woxic-Isa combo. I think they are a very potent combo, perhaps the best duo right now in this tournament. I think they're really, really solid, especially when they have the support of a Dead Fox, of Angel. You know, I think it's really going to be too much for the French to handle this time around.
Yeah, guys, the players are pretty much ready to go, so I have to ask you for some predictions.
HellRaisers?
HellRaisers, there we go. I think we've kind of established where we're all at. Natu, I imagine you agree?
Yeah, HellRaisers.
I will go with HellRaisers as well. I'm sure the crowd is going to be favouring EnVy, so hopefully that can give the French side some extra power, and we can move over to our casters as well and see exactly what they think before this matchup. Vince and Risk, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Taking over the second half of the day, moving on from Hugo and Scrawny. Good to have you here. How you feeling?
Great. Yeah, pretty good.
It's not a bad way to start, right, considering you're going to be casting a French matchup here in Tours, France.
Yeah, that's the dream. Especially against HellRaisers, I think these two teams will be on the radar for seeing how far they can go in the event, right? I mean, HellRaisers only here because of issues with, I think it was Woxic's visa.
Yep.
So they came in for Heroic, if memory serves me correctly. Yeah, and then EnVyUs, of course, at Marseille, knocked out G2 before we even got to the playoffs.
Indeed.
So they're pretty solid on home soil.
Yeah, so I mean, there is, in a sense, then some fire still left in the engine, and you're right, with regards to HellRaisers, there was that old switcheroo with regards to Dallas. Anyway, let's get this underway. Over to you guys.
So what are you thinking here then, Riz? Do you go alongside the predictions on the desk, which were pretty much unanimously HellRaisers?
I think if you have like the logical hat on, there's only one answer, and that answer is HellRaisers. The only way you can kind of build an argument for EnVyUs is exactly what Natsu said, is that they're either going to hit a very, very high level individually because everyone just hits a day, and we've seen that happen, and we've seen that with these players like RPK can drop a 40 bomb in a best of one if he hits a day. If he doesn't, there's no system, there's no structure on this team to kind of bring it back. So we need every single player from EnVyUs to hit that streak. If they don't, I'm sure it's going to be HellRaisers.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to go against that. I mean, even going way back towards the major, I was saying the same thing. Obviously, they didn't have Haji back then, but it was about RPK, who unfortunately, of course, got very sick and couldn't fully find his feet. I think actually he was out for the last game or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, completely agree with you. I think EnVyUs need the stars to align so that they can leapfrog over HellRaisers. HellRaisers have a couple of phenomenal players, Woxic being the one that definitely steps up to the table for me. But again, HellRaisers aren't exactly the most veteran story team either. They have elements to them that have been around the block a fair few times, but there are some question marks too.
No, for sure. Like also, if you look at the leadership, we've been seeing, of course, also MSL with North, and I think there are some comparisons to make to Happy in EnVyUs, like that leader that has been around for so much time. He has so much experience, but he's with a team that's struggling to hit the form that we all know they can hit. So it's also about Happy showing the world before this shuffle that we're not 100% sure if it's coming, when it's coming, but it's surely coming in the French scene. So how will Happy stand when that shuffle comes? And he has to prove himself that he's still a team leader that can lead world-class teams and play in these kind of tournaments.
And speaking of veterans, of course, dead center on HellRaisers, Angel. He's been around for so long, and definitely a player to watch out for. But Inferno, where do you think this comes down between the teams? Does this maybe edge you further in the HellRaisers camp, or do you think this maybe favors EnVyUs?
I think this is almost a 50-50. EnVyUs are not bad on this map. They have a 61.5% win rate on this map, so generally, if you look at it statistically, that's not a bad setup. But then again, HellRaisers, as I mentioned on the desk, as we've been talking about, Isa and Woxic. Like, they can open every single side. So I'm looking at their T side, the T side here for HellRaisers, to be where they actually open up and maybe get a 9-6, 10-5 to start with.
Well, first round has got underway in the pistol. Bomb dropped down, very retrievable though, in Banana. And as is so often the case on Inferno, really a case of both teams just feeling each other out, making sure there's no weaknesses. Already some damage inflicted to Issa, who needs to think twice about pushing down.
That's really nice from Scream, actually, because usually when you play that T default and you play one player in apartments, that's where Scream usually stands back. But this time he peeks, gets early damage, and forces the terrorists to think about like the second thought, okay, are we actually going to go in here? Can we take map control because Scream is playing so aggressively? So nice little beginning here. The setup is coming though for the T side.
Haji's going to get smoked out. Needs to call to the rest of his team. Is doing a lot of damage through the smoke, unbeknownst to him, however. Now Angel decides to go aggressively. There's a team kill onto Issa. To be fair, he's at about 13 health, but now Kiyoshima is going to stand tall and deliver the second frag. It's looking great for EnVyUs.
Here comes the push onto the Banana though. Happy with the CZ 75. Flashed off, this weapon can do a lot of damage close range.
It sure can. Tailor-made for situations like this, but Happy caught in two minds, not able to finish off what he started, but Dead Fox, just 3 health separates him and Demise, and he will go for the plant. Bondik is there, bodyguarding across to his very vulnerable teammate, but it may still go the way of EnVyUs nonetheless. Kiyoshima comes in for a third kill, and that leaves Bondik in a 1-on-3 post plant. And he has just been destroyed. Kiyoshima 4K.
Yeah, that's what you need, right? Like, you need the players to step up individually. Kiyoshima showing that he's here to play. They were talking about it on the desk, coming straight from a poker tournament in Malta. He's proving that, yeah, he's here to play. He might not have had, like, 40 hours of CSGO in the last 2 weeks, but he can still hit those headshots.
Certainly a player that sometimes slips under the radar.
Yeah.
Definitely one to watch out for. So EnVyUs will concede a bomb plant. That does give HellRaisers some options. They've decided to pull the trigger in this round, full CZs with armor and nades.
Of course, in the current meta, why not? If they win this, that's another reason on the long list of why the CZ needs to be nerfed. But yeah, let's just wait and see. This could be a good round for HellRaisers. Usually in this kind of round, you see when you get the bomb down, you see waiting for AKs. But I actually like if you kind of challenge the fact that you don't have to follow the usual model all the time. And that's what HellRaisers are doing right now. EnVyUs, the second they don't near an AK, they're going to think, okay, something's up. Something's not as we usually see it. Here's Hachi, though. Close with an MP9. Flashes are raining in. But the terrorists aren't pushing. They're slowly just taking map control, holding these close-range angles with the CZ. And that's what they need to do. Isolate the different positions with the smokes, with the utility. Happy's here on the corner, though.
Trying to bait out some nades in counteraction as well from EnVyUs, but they're not really biting down too deep. Instead, they are going to go back to the site. They're giving up CT control. As you can see from the ruins area, now peering across from Kirishima's perspective, who's looking to put 4 frags on that belt that already has 4, and there's a 5th. Dead Fox gets sprayed down through the smoke, and with that kill, it's going to alleviate a lot of the pressure. They still, by and large, have to give up the B side for the time being, but it's all about the retake. They may not even get there. Scream is perforated through Woxic, and he will go on to Angel 2. Is the only player to answer back, and although RPK wasn't expecting a second player to be in shadow, a close claustrophobic angle will not help one bit. EnVyUs pick up a 2-0.
Very interesting round if you look at how both teams actually used their utility. I think at all points when a team was moving, smokes went down to kind of counteract on these different positions. Nice little flash for the smoke as well with the MP9 player coming in from ruins to end that round basically. And Scream's angle here, getting 2 frags for 1. Very nicely done from him. Also managed to pick up some weapons so they don't have to rebuy a lot more, Team EnVyUs. So a lot of good economy for the French side. HellRaisers fully forced onto an eco. No investment whatsoever. So now Envy can start to build some economy.
You'd certainly hope so, against full Glocks.
Yeah. Anything else but building economy would be a disaster.
Exactly. Any kills really would be a huge bonus for HellRaisers at this stage. Almost allowing EnVyUs to push down and see if they can get themselves caught out of position, but at this point EnVyUs, they don't need to budge an inch. They're pretty much set up perfectly.
Yeah. There's no real threat right now from HellRaisers, and HellRaisers are just using this round to maybe figure out, okay, how are they playing the positions? If they're taking control of Banana, how does that look? And that's the kind of stuff they can push forward and see now, and as they did in the early round where Dead Fox died, sadly, they're kind of getting information, okay, how are they playing in certain situations? Because this round is not usable for them. It's not going to be possible to get this done. But you don't want to see team kills, do you? Like,
they did take down Happy too, but yeah, team kills definitely not what they wanted on the menu. It will be Envy claiming a 3rd round, as anticipated. But AK-47s will be on the horizon, so this is going to be the first proper test to see what EnVyUs have on store on the CT side.
this is where it gets interesting. Woxic with the AWP, no utility on him. We're missing Molotovs on every single player apart from Dead Fox. This is what we usually see on the T side when they lose the first couple of rounds. And there we go, the Molotov already forcing RPK to push down Banana. Smoke on the bottom of it, so control taken by the CTs for now. Pushing back, so in general, both sides really trying to battle for the beginning of a Banana in the beginning of the round. This time around, it's going to be Envy winning that one. And they can hold back the turrets for now. Once again, spreading into the default, as we usually see here in Inferno. Secondary smoke. If they count the smokes now, they know 2 smokes already gone down on Banana. If we wait 30 more seconds, we can actually push up and take up a Banana control with almost no risk. Kirishima will drop down and go back to the side when the smoke fades.
Doesn't want to overstay his welcome, especially as he is the last line of defense on B. A couple players situated around arches, so they can sweep if they're needed, but he hangs around a bit too long, and it is going to be an even trade, though. The AWP lands, as does Kirishima, but this is where he really needs someone to help him out. A stray nade needs a dead man.
Yeah, 16 HP, has to have the rotation come in. Teammate comes in behind him. And that's RPK. Has a Molotov, but no smoke. Let's see if Angel and the boys in the Banana can make this happen.
Time running scarce. Bomb just starting to maneuver up Banana. Important kill by Kirishima. Needs to be a few more on the horizon, though. RPK, in the meanwhile, is going to be holding the close angle as a Molotov still burns away. Trying to get rid of the entrance, and Kirishima's going to pick up a second. All off the back of 16 HP. RPK chimes in for 2 of his own, and it's a clean sweep.
Kirishima, man. That is a really, really good round. Actually, in general, usually holding that angle when the smoke fades is really dangerous because usually the AWP can come up and just take you out of that angle. But somehow, some way, Kiyoshima gets away with it, gets the damage, rotates away alive, and then gets the extra 2 kills on 16 HP. He should not have been able to do that, but somehow, some way he makes it happen. And that's what we were talking about. The individual players need to step up and perform better than they usually do. So far, Kiyoshima is doing that. And that's one of the criteria of success that are right now in play for EnVyUs. If they can make that happen, if they can build on this, there's a legit chance of them at least taking HellRaisers down the road, and maybe we can get into a close overtime 16-14 situation, which is way more than we expected.
Oh, this is pretty much as good as it gets, though, in terms of a start by EnVyUs. Their economy is booming. Had a couple of very clear-cut rounds. They managed to stave off that second round force by after the bomb plant. And now HellRaisers have only the one smoke to play with and an assortment of pistols with some Kevlar. So it's going from bad to worse.
That is true.
I've only seen Woxic with an AWP one time. And Inferno on T side's not the most forgiving side, and you're not going to get a huge amount of opportunities with the AWP.
No. And the opportunity that he had are one of the ones that are usually open. Like you know there's that boost position. If you pre-peek it correctly, you're almost 9 out of 10 times going to get that win. And he actually doesn't. He only gets the leg shot. So hopefully that's not in the back of his mind coming into that duel next time. Let's see. Happy close range, though.
HellRaisers have to go aggressively. There simply isn't the time to support any more meandering. Happy with 2. Woxic the only player to answer back, but that's probably all that HellRaisers will achieve in this round. The bomb's now starting to wrap around short. He's going to get taken down courtesy of Hachi, who comes in with a second. And again, EnVyUs only lose to 1 player.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Building economy, secure rounds, no real danger in the rounds that they need to win. Perfect start for EnVyUs. And now HellRaisers need to pick themselves up by the bootstraps and trying to get rolling into the game. Another round, another AWP for Woxic. This time a better setup utility-wise. All players apart from Woxic do have these Molotovs. When you want to clear positions out, especially on the B bomb site, especially early round as well, those Molotovs become worth their weight in gold. But once again, EnVyUs have succeeded in taking banana control, making sure that the T's cannot get the early fights here. Kiyoshima is just holding it down.
Yeah, it certainly feels like EnVyUs are dictating the pace of how these rounds are going.
Yes, and usually we see the T side team do that on Inferno, so them being able to do that on the CT side is a very, very good signal.
Often T's will allow that early aggression and then just storm banana later on, but it just seems like they haven't been able to get into any kind of a rhythm, any kind of a routine. Woxic with the AWP again. Hasn't seen really anything to tee off, as you said. Previously, Kiyoshima up on the wall just to his left-hand side. Got legged. But that smoke's still very much in the eyes of the terrorists, so they're not going to be peeking anytime soon.
See here, Woxic flashes over. And 2 players enter the banana.
Decide to push through it.
Yeah.
But Kiyo's out of that.
Yeah, and that's the best part, like playing banana aggressively like he was doing, just holding it down. The second you see that flashbang, just get back. Don't take any duel, don't take any chance. You have now information in that, okay, they're flashing the banana, they're using utility to get this control. I can maybe guess what they're doing.
Trying to bait as if this is going to be a B hit, but the bulk of the terrorists now find their way, forcing through mid. But they are meeting a roadblock in the form of Hachi and Scream, who's going to go in for another one. Now it's Happy's turn to show that he can frag out. And yet again, we're in a situation where EnVyUs are going to lose 1 or 0 players.
They have just been dominated in this round. There's just no other way around it. And it's not by a single player, it's by different players all over the team, by controlling the map, by controlling the mid, by controlling the banana. And everyone's actually stepping up right now for EnVyUs. This is a really healthy couple of rounds they've gotten and a really healthy start to a tournament where people are looking at them saying, okay, they might not be here when this tournament is over. They might be a completely different lineup. This is actually looking pretty good so far. 4 AKs on the CT side is always a good sign, right?
One tap potential is certainly up there now. One aspect where the CT sometimes lag behind, but it's not even 4 AKs for HellRaisers. They're having to dip down into 2 Galils and a Mac 10. Mac 10 all well and good if there's no head armor, but of course at this stage EnVyUs are not skimping out on that at all. So it's going to have to be hyper-aggression. Hachi, though, just holds down left click and hopes for the best. And that blind spray nearly claims 2. Scream's able to at least dish out a bit more punishment. The missed shots from Happy may afford HellRaisers their first glimmer of a chance at a round, and it's actually more than that now. They will maintain a player advantage with a bomb plant on top.
Really like the choice here for HellRaisers to go for a quick push, a very simple push at that. Because they know if they play slow, if they play to the map control, they let EnVyUs dominate them in that area, they're not going to be able to win rounds. So they immediately just change up, quick push, simple push, take control, win duels.
Well, the tank looking to mow his way through shorts, but there's 2 players in pits and 1 on the site. This isn't going to be an easy retake by any stretch of the imagination, and now their time is far too scarce. They just want to save the weapons instead. And Kyo's going to hold on to his AK, and it's looking like RPK will retain his too. That's a solid takeout off the round, even though EnVyUs will concede for the first time.
Nice start from HellRaisers. Get that first round on the board. And a couple of claps from the crowd as well, so not 100% support for the French team. I like that when you have CS crowds where it's everyone claps for good CS. It's nice to see.
Plus, at this point, the French crowd have every reason to be happy and joyous at what they're witnessing.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you can have that one round, that's fine.
If HellRaisers start to bat at EnVyUs, I'm not so sure we'll still
the
hear the
clapping
claps.
will probably concede.
They may very well subside, but let's hope for the Frenchman that they can continue, and of course the Belgian, in the form of Scream. Hadji, meanwhile, the newer of the recruits, alongside Kyo, is going to try his arm in apps, but decides better of it and will back away.
The storyline in Hadji is also, on its own, very interesting. Coming from that academy life and then being pulled up onto the big team, playing with the big boys now. Always a fun player to follow when you have those kind of players. We have the same story with Mertz from North as well, coming in onto the main team and seeing how he can do in these situations. Lining up for another quick A hit though.
Well, a smoke screen with flashes is the forecast for Hadji, who's looking to weather that storm. And so far, so good. He still retains 94 health. He could do real damage here, and he's forcing the attention of the terrorists away from the site, which is where Kiyoshima is going to town with a 3K.
Kiroshima's just styling on the right now. 15 frags. Looking so solid.
But so much of that round was about Hadji. He forced a couple players who were pushing out of apps to focus him, allowing Kiyoshima to just, well, wreak hell.
He's on the back of the side, just finding headshots. And yeah, as you say, like that's the system, that's the defensive system working. It's all this glory. Kiyoshima is just picking it up, happy, trying with the op. Not able to hit the shot for now. This is though almost a full eco for the T side, so their goal here, get a couple of frags. If they can get the bomb down, they're perfectly fine with that. But nowhere near the hope of winning the round.
Yeah, Happy had a couple of swings and misses, and I think he realized as soon as that it was pistols firing back at him. You don't want to overstay your welcome against Deagles, but it's going to be Scream. Controlled spray, not something that we say too often about the headshot machine, but Happy will get that AWP frag in the third time of asking. No dice today for HellRaisers, 8-1.
All right, Vince, at what point do we, let's say we were HellRaisers fans in this particular instance, when do we start getting worried?
Right
because
now.
This is getting into the territory where they've tried a lot of different stuff, and now they're just getting mowed down. The last time they did this quick short push 2 times in a row, first time it worked out, second time they get shut down. If they don't get this round on the board, I feel like that we're not going to see more than maybe 3 rounds on the T side here on Inferno, which is very strange when you usually look at HellRaisers.
Right, exactly. And I think after this round, if things went awry, then I would like to see a timeout call.
Yes.
Just to regroup.
This is where Johnson needs to come in and tell the guys, okay, how do we break this?
I mean, I'm a little bit surprised they didn't call one now before this round, as they do have some assault rifles, but especially if they were to lose this, then just try and hold the momentum. Clearly, EnVyUs are feeling it on home soil.
Yeah.
Just make them stew in it a little bit. They do have enough utility and enough firepower to make a go of this round, so I'm not completely writing HellRaisers off. It's just really been the nature of how they've been losing so far. That's the biggest issue for me.
I would like to see them do just good old standard B push. They have the Molotovs, they have the 2 they can place down on first and second oranges. They have smokes for CT, they have smoke for coffins. We know when Woxic goes into a site, he can win those entry duels. And it looks like they're going that way.
Happy. Not much of an angle to work off. Doesn't connect the shot through the wall. But he will be able to escape to the site, and is now being bolstered up. A two-player defense on B. Scream's getting a bit of information as he peeks through, and he is going to get the spray onto Issa, who is running around the corner with the smoke.
25 seconds.
They're going to be forced to go on B. So the question is, can the tank hold off the infantry that are looking to push his location? Flashbangs accompanying the spray is good for one. It's going to be a house of cards come crumbling down as EnVyUs go in for another. And again, surprise, surprise, only one member of the CTs dies.
This is almost perfection from EnVyUs right now. And also the way that they force the clock down for HellRaisers, that looked very panicky at the end of the round. They lose one player in mid, and then it's like, okay, we have 18 seconds, we have to go on B now. And then the whole take becomes very rushed. And that's not what you want when you have that B setup, because you have all the grenades, you have the Molotov, you have the smokes. You just need to have the game plan and then go in with the correct timing. And with that time left, they don't have that opportunity. Happy landing the kill onto Woxic, very nicely done. Actually stays there with the AWP. Confidence right now.
I think they're trying to bait out for a one dig, but Happy, he's not missing any more through mid. Haji falls. They have so much money in their back pocket, though, that Envy won't care too much about this. The currency that really counts is rounds, and, well, they're rich in that respect, too. Bondic, just multiple angles, no real hope for him, and already EnVyUs have hit the double-digit mark.
This is a very, very good start for EnVyUs. I was going into this tournament thinking, okay, who could probably be in contention for taking this trophy? HellRaisers, they've been doing really well recently. Probably one of my favorites to win it. EnVyUs, I have to say, they were on the lower end of that list for me. This has been a complete switch of what I thought this first map was going to be. Very, very interesting stuff. Finally, a full buy here for HellRaisers. They need to get this round. If they don't get this, how do you come back?
And we didn't have the timeout that we were looking for.
I'm actually very surprised because I really like Jonta as a coach. I think he's one of the better coaches in the game right now, but not being able to take that timeout, I'm not sure.
It's not even a case that HellRaisers have had like a bunch of clutches, like 2v2, 3v3s that have gone against them. You can say, look, boys, yeah, it's 10-1, but another day we could have had 6 or 7 rounds. Now, this has been a shutout.
Yeah.
There's been nothing to really get excited about if you're HellRaisers, which is why I'm so confused.
Yeah. And Jonta's not a coach that's slow to take timeouts either. So, yeah, I'm kind of wondering.
Maybe some method behind the madness, but I certainly can't see it just yet.
Trust the process, Vince.
I'll try my best.
Let's see here. Very important round. Both teams know it right now. HellRaisers taking mid control. RPK at the bottom of Banana. Losing that duel. And this is the beginning that HellRaisers need.
It sure is. Haven't seen them get the first couple of picks, I don't think, a single time so far on Inferno. Has Woxic even got an AWP frag? I don't think he has.
No, I don't think so.
He's had it 3 or 4 times.
He's done over 100 damage, but never got a frag.
Haji.
Nice refrag from Issa.
It was very important they did get that second kill, going the way of HellRaisers 2 in that trade. Because if Haji was able to get 2 or 3, that was the way for EnVyUs back in. However, they still have a spy among the ranks. It's Kiyashima, and the agent will pounce for 1. Smokescreen will cover Issa for the time being, but now Happy around the back has chimed in for another 2-on-2. The position's pretty solid for the terrorists, and it just got a whole lot better as Angel will drill into Kiyashima, catching Happy unawares, and HellRaisers will double their tally.
2 for Angel, 2 for Issa. Good to see them get started again, and that's actually... Were those the 2 first frag for Angel in this map? I think so.
I think you could be right, yeah.
That is very strange, because usually Angel, he's not the in-game leader who's going to sit back and not get frags. He is one of the better fragging, entry fragging
2 and 10.
leaders. Yeah.
Dead Fox 1 and 11.
He's gotten 3 assists though, but that doesn't really matter. No one really cares about those.
Plus, Angel always seems like pretty solid on maps like Overpass for me. Inferno's another one on the T side. If anything, I kind of think he's a little bit stronger on the T side than he is on the CT side in a lot of ways.
There's so many things in this map so far that has gone opposite of what statistics tells us. Which is one of the reasons why I love CS so much, because that, it can change. We can't count on statistics every single time. We can't count on history. Who shows up on the day? And today, it's EnVyUs.
And that really is a microcosm of this entire event. There's a lot of teams that on paper should be challenging, but it's all about, can they find consistency where it really counts? Issa comes through with the entry that they were desperately seeking, but Happy on the close angle, could be in the thick of the frags. You'd expect a flashbang to precede this push. And as a result, they're just going to hold the angle a little while longer. But the fact that Envy have someone pushed right down Banana gives them a lot of information they can work with.
See, flash peek, RPK doubles up, nice from him. Meanwhile, Kirishima on Banana, and it's a shutdown. Woxic all alone now.
He's the kind of player that could really put a cat amongst the pigeons, but Kirishima, he's not going to allow that to happen. So he saw a brief glimmer of hope, and then suddenly the shutdown was in effect.
And that's what you don't want, right? Like, you come straight back into the game. We can do this, guys. There's hope. Nope. Get bodied.
Door slammed well and truly in the face.
I really like the way that they do the flash peek middle, and then they get the first frag. A player stays there, that's RPK, then he wins the second duel. If he loses the second duel, there's a player on a short ready to refrag as well. So they have that security right now in every single setup they play with EnVyUs.
So aggressive by Scream, straight into apps, out second mid, down into mid, on the T-steps. And Bondik, try as he might with this P250, his days are numbered. The Executioner is lurking. The question is, who is going to get the kill?
Yeah, that's the only question, right?
And it will be RPK. Another flawless round, 12-2.
And if you think about it, it has been the players that we needed to step up. We see the tank RPK here with the 4K. That's not his first great round he's had so far. Kirishima, the question mark, the problem, also stepped up in this game so far. Even Happy getting frags. All these players that we had an idea, okay, we need them to do better than they usually do, they have all stepped up in this game. And yes, HellRaisers have not been on their best game. That's obvious. But Team EnVyUs are making it look easy right now. And that's perhaps a bit of overconfidence from Haji.
It happens from teams when you're so far ahead, you almost take the enemy for granted. You know, that confidence is surging. Just brought back down to earth momentarily. But Team EnVyUs really have been sensational so far on this map. I don't think HellRaisers have really got into a flow either.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if their fortunes will change. They really need this round in the pistol, at the very least. Flashbang will connect, but not going to really put HellRaisers off pushing through the Archer's side.
Yeah, because Haji died off, the Arch is completely open, allowing HellRaisers to take control over CT and then being able to do that B-Wrap. Two players playing on Banana aggressively.
Oh no.
Let's see.
Kirishima's timing.
Oh, he's going to die.
Kirishima was stood there watching Archers. He decided to go back to B. And that's when they started to push in. RPK only with one. And Happy gets caught as he tries to flank.
Yeah. Don't leave Arch open.
Oh, that was pure timing. But EnVyUs can still hold their heads high, for that is quite the half.
This is still an insanely good first half compared to pretty much every single EnVyUs game in the last 6 months. Like, this has been way better than what I expected, and I'm so glad to see a team. There's always the story of a team on home soil. This is it right now. EnVyUs, they're showing up. They're showing that this is not just another tournament for them. This is one that they really want to win. HellRaisers on the other side of things. One of the favorites before we started. 3 rounds so far.
Absolutely, and let's be honest and be frank about it. EnVyUs are a team on the ropes.
Yep.
As it stands, players have came out and said pretty enigmatic things, let's say. Scream in particular seemed pretty down about the whole situation.
Yeah, after the relegation, MDL stuff.
And that's, I think, one of the main reasons why most people coming into this match would have thought, yeah, HellRaisers, they're pegged on to win this, shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Get really well at BetsNet, like.
And this is why EnVyUs are so frustrating, because we know they have it.
Yeah.
We know these guys are talented.
And finally they're showing it. Finally on land. See second half coming in. Let's see if they can show it even more. Shut this down quickly. Or if HellRaisers is going to be able to bring it back. Flash, flash. Kit on Dead Fox. And 2 smokes on EnVyUs. Crowd is definitely with us right now. Bondik and Woxic, each with 1.
Woxic's going to need to stand tall, though, because that's multiple players pushing it. And that's down to Dead Fox. No kills going to be following up. This is looking great for EnVyUs once again. In a must-win round for HellRaisers. They don't have a kit currently. I believe one of those players dropped one, though. On Banana. Yep. There we go. This has just picked it up. But at this stage, there's a lot of positions where either Kirishima or RPK could be residing in.
RPK with a flashbang in his hand. Pops it off just to gain control, and he's just on point right now.
That should be the round to
Ace.
Envy now. No ace, but the round will be more than good enough, I'm sure.
Once again, like RPK 4K in that round. That's the second 4K so far on this map. Surely topping the scoreboard right now together with Kirishima. And that's what you want to see if you're an EnVyUs fan. You want to see RPK just the tank slowly but surely just moving up on the banana. Everyone who gets in front of him, mowed down.
I mean, at this point, he's almost like a howitzer. Just anyone in front of him obliterated, stands no chance. Doesn't matter if you're behind cover or not. 3 MAC-10s and a UMP. Will find the CZ of Angel, who is able to salvage the UMP. That's a pretty awesome start for HellRaisers.
That's what you want. Scream. I'm not actually sure what the plan was there, because Scream was a little bit too far ahead from his teammates, so there was no real refrag potential if he lost that duel. That's a very dangerous thing to do when taking top banana control on the C side. You have to have that refrag potential. Teammate behind you. If you go down, you can take that frag. Now they take top mid control and push onto A.
Especially as with this UMP and not a MAC-10. Of course, the UMP has better stats in terms of armor shred than the MAC-10 does. That could certainly be used against EnVyUs at this stage. Bit better range too. Hadji is trying to feel out onto balcony. I think he did see a player up there who's now dropped into pit. It's slow, it's methodical, but EnVyUs are making ground. They're getting real estate, and Kirishima will make sure that UMP plays no further part. RPK on the drive-by, spraying wildly into Bondik. And with only the one player left in the form of Dead Fox, who's on B, and he's had a rough game so far, it is looking ominous at best. But there is one, not able to turn around, swivel to a second frag, and that will be B site planted on.
Woxic and is a deadly duo who has been anything but that in this game. Shut down once more. Woxic now, the last man standing, he's going to save his Molotov, CZ and armor. And to be frank, that's fair enough. He's 1v3 with the bomb planted. There's no reason to go in and lose whatever you have, because it's not going to happen.
Exactly. Every little helps at this point for HellRaisers.
Oh, yeah, and he can pick up that UMP. That's actually really nice.
So CZ could go across to one of his teammates if he can retain the UMP. Gives them 2 players coming through into the next round with a little bit. I think a lot of teams would just force behind this UMP and CZ at this stage, considering the score.
Yeah, considering the score especially. Like when you're 3-14, just go for it. Just go see what you can make happen, because this is already a map and a match that's so hard for them to turn around right now. So they have to take every single chance they can get. They have to be the risk takers. They have to be the one who believes in the impossible with the situation that they're currently in.
And impossible about sums it up, the way this game's been going. And so they are going to have pistols alongside the UMP. Of course, they had very little money into this round, so that is everything in their bank that has now gone, dwindled away. On the other side, 4 SMGs and an AK are there to greet them.
You can also see the way that they're playing banana control is actually them being a bit scared of Team EnVyUs, because usually when you have this much utility and you place 3 members towards banana in the beginning, you want to take control, but what they do is nade down deep and then smoke off the close range. So they're saying, we don't actually think we can take control.
Woxic is going to come through with the first kill of the round. That's going to put a bit of confidence in the back pocket of HellRaisers, but that's up to Issa. What can he get done with the Desert Eagle? Seemingly caught in that reload animation forever, in a time loop. That costs him dearly, as will it HellRaisers overall. If he gets that kill, things are back open on the table again. Dead Fox close range, nothing done with the CZ. And Bondik is the last chance saloon for round 18, as the curtain is starting to come down on this map.
RPK with 3 kills in this round as well. He has been beasting since, what, round 7 or something in this game. He's just been cleaning house every single round. 14 HP to go for Bondik. Decides this is not going to work out. Going to run away. And EnVyUs will get on 15-3. I wouldn't have been surprised if people came to me before this game and said, probably going to be 16-3 for HellRaisers. This is the complete switch around. What a great story for EnVy.
All credit to them. They have played excellent.
Yeah.
Really the best I've seen them play in quite some time.
Exactly, and you mentioned it before. This is why we as Counter-Strike fans get so frustrated when we see them lose. Because we know this is what they could do. This is the true level when everyone hits a day. As Natsu said, either they show up and they're incredible, or they just plummet through and fall apart. There's no middle ground.
Here's the MAC-10. Very handy work of RPK.
Imagine being Issa and that, just getting a frag and like forced to reload, and all you can see is someone like jumping up.
My desk would have been broken because I can feel his pain. He's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
stuck in that. He's like, come on, get in the deagle. I need to kill more people.
Kirishima opening up. This is the final attempt. As a glass cannon on Woxic, he has not been up to par with that AWP so far in this game. This round, he just needs to change it in order to keep themselves in this game right now, to keep themselves alive. One player CT.
Bondic is going to trade one, but that's not really good enough for HellRaisers, who are already a player behind that trade.
Yeah.
Make it 2. And although Woxic has pulled back a kill, it is a Desert Eagle, and now it's just been traded up into an AK, but it's still against Kirishima, Haji, and RPK, all of who have played very well so far.
It's not impossible, but it's very improbable at this point.
Certainly not favoring HellRaisers, but can they pull off a memorable retake? The French crowd anticipating this is where this fairy tale will end for HellRaisers. And they may be correct. It's a 1-4 trade, and that's not good enough. EnVyUs pick it up 16-3 in style.
What a great beginning to what could be the great comeback for this lineup. With a French shuffle on the horizon. This is a very, very interesting twist in the tale of French Counter-Strike right now.
And where the HellRaisers go from here? That was just such a lackluster performance.
I have no idea. These guys don't care.
Absolutely not. They're ecstatic.
Yeah, they
Their
should
team's
be.
done it.
It's actually also interesting when you think about EnVyUs having such a rough time at the EPL relegation, then coming here on home soil, a lot of pressure on them, and they just smash it in the opener. Completely wreck it.
And a team that I feel like is often based around confidence, especially people like Scream.
Yes.
To see them play in such a way, that now makes me pretty excited for what the future of this event may hold for them.
Yeah,
I don't want to get
definitely.
too carried away and say they're going to win or anything, but I'm very impressed with what I just saw.
Definitely, definitely. Scream, of course, the usual aim star from back in the day. In this one, it has to be either RPK and Kirishima, in my opinion. RPK in the end of the game, Kirishima to begin it. Clearly the 2 stars, in my opinion.
Well, that's enough from us. We're going to go to the analyst desk where they're going to break down that very one-sided game.
Yeah, Vince and Risk, that was, as you said, extremely one-sided and also quite quick, the fastest match we've had so far. I don't really know what to say exactly, except that Envy massively surprised us. None of us on the desk predicted them
Expected
to take
result.
it.
A very expected result.
No. No. I mean, predicting
Let's not lie to the people at home. If you weren't watching before we started the match, none of us guessed it. Yeah. All right, we were out there, HellRaisers, my boys, yeah. And no, Envy on the home turf turned up and showed that they are here to fight, Natu.
Yeah. No, I mean, I said this is the last song, the encore, if you will, and the first act was great. It was phenomenal, you have to say.
I like it, the play analogy, the film analogy, you're running with it, and I feel like this could be a romantic tale of the underdog rising and showing that they are worth something still.
Yeah, from the ashes, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you definitely. I said before the game, for Envy, it's either going to be the other, one or the other. It's going to be superb, or it's going to be a burning in the ground, to the ground, I guess, I should say. But, you know, you have to say, actually, I was very, very surprised positively by the way that Envy was playing that CT side. They were having the buddy system going on, and what I mean by that is they were flashing for each other, they were making plays, and obviously, Kirishima should probably move to Malta at this point and just keep on playing these poker tournaments, if it's making him play this good.
Maybe because Keo in the poker tournament didn't have the best result. Maybe he got that out of the way in Malta, shook off the negative energy, and came here and he's just full of positivity and the good stuff. And he was delivering there, definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it was like, what, 15-0?
Yes.
15 kills in 6 rounds. That's a start you'll be looking for. But, you know, while we are kind of like singing the praises for EnVyUs right now, just got to talk a little bit of HellRaisers T side, right? They really didn't do anything special. Like, for example, the top mid, I forgot a number of times Scream, Happy were getting free picks down top of mid, right? I mean, I never saw smoke coming out to the top of mid. They never tried to, like, flash their way and try to, like, take some initiative. They were just playing too reactive.
Yeah.
It was basically a shooting gallery. They were just, you know, puppets for Scream, and the rest are just, like, mow them down.
Yeah, with regards to top mid and just the way HellRaisers approach the T side. I think lacking initiative and aggression was one of the things that let Envy kind of gain all the momentum. Natu, how much do you have to try to impress your will on the game without making too many silly risks?
I mean, there's a couple of ways to approach the T side when it comes to a default. You either put your X into the basket of going towards banana, trying to make a force a fight, and maybe have a 5-on-4 advantage due to that, or 4-on-4 still favors the T side. Or on the opposite side, you go and take over middle, but then you can't really end up just hanging around the middle. That's kind of what happened with HellRaisers. They did get mid control, but then really managed to not get anything going with it. Instead, what happened time and time again, they were spending so much time up there that Envy would then come up and make a play. They'd have that Paul Flash come in. You had Scream, everyone pretty much, Kiyoshima coming and chiming in, and then effectively those rounds that HellRaisers did make a push, you know, when they were funneling down through quad, for example, they never managed to make it claustrophobic for the CTs. There was not enough mollies in play, not enough smokes, their flash timings were off, so not in a single situation once they were actually attacking the bomb site was the CTs totally blinded, they were in awkward positioning, or anything like that. Instead, they had the perfect setups, crossfires going on, and maybe like those one round there was like a when HellRaisers actually managed to get into an afterplan situation, and that's the one that they actually managed to win in that kind of situation. But overall, yes, very lackluster, but also you gotta kind of give kudos to Envy for the proactiveness and the little plays, mid-game plays they were doing, which kind of cost Collapse 8 jars. So Envy actually had the correct game plan just how to play against HellRaisers up here in the game.
And talking about game plans, let's hear it from one of the horse's mouths. We've got Haji from Team EnVyUs, who can shed some light on that victory. How's it going, Ali?
It's going well.
I think it's going a lot better than expected.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not for you guys, but maybe you can explain your expectations coming into this tournament and then how you feel now after that first victory.
I mean, obviously, we're not doing that well with the team at the moment, but as it's a French tournament, it's in France, so I think we want to do our best. We want to make the French crowd proud. So yeah, we did our best, and I'm really happy that we grabbed the win against HellRaisers.
And when you were approaching this matchup against HellRaisers, what was the game plan? And do you feel you executed upon it? You ended up on Inferno. I don't know if that played into what you think favoured your team.
Yeah, I think we knew before that we're gonna play either Inferno or Cash. So yeah, we knew that we're gonna play Inferno, and then I don't know, we just came with a good mentality, I guess. I mean, we played good with each other, and yeah, as Natu said, like we took a lot of information mid round. Like sometimes they're gonna take banana, for example. We don't have any information. And then we decide to push long, we decide to push short, and then we see no one, so it's B. I mean, I think we played really well, and I'm proud of the team.
Yeah, Natu, please go ahead and jump in.
I think the real question really is, how many jokes did you guys throw about Keo moving to Malta and playing poker all the time if he keeps playing this well?
Yeah, true, that's true. Yeah, he played the poker tournament last week, and yeah, I don't know, he had like amazing game. He played so well, so yeah, I'm happy that he showed his face.
Like, just one quick question I have as well. There were a couple of rounds I saw where you guys pushed down banana, like you smoked off the bottom of banana, RPK pushed down banana, and then at the same time, I think I saw Scream and Happy, or I think it was with you, you were pushing down apartments as well at the same time. Like, that's something you don't see that often, right? When I get it, you want to play aggressive at the CT side, but that's like hyper-aggression. You're basically giving no room for HellRaisers to breathe. Was that a conscious decision? Were you guys feeling that confident at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, true, like when you have an aggressive move at some part of the map, like normally you have to play safe in the other part, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, we just felt confident, and I believed in the... I mean, I knew that they will take Inferno pretty fast, so I thought it was obviously a risky move because they were aggressive as well in banana, but yeah, I don't know, we just feel confident, and I guess it was a good option.
Yeah, okay, well, going on from here, you'll be playing North later today. Final thoughts on that before we let you go, Haji?
They're a good team, obviously. We will try our best. We're playing today, I guess.
Yes.
So, yeah, we don't really have the time to prepare the match, but as I said, we will do our best, and we'll try to make the French crowd proud.
Definitely. Well, you made them proud there, and I think, considering how North did against Imperial, you might have a good shot later. Best of luck. You should go and get prepared. Thank you, Haji.
Thank you, guys. Thank you a lot.
Natu and Blair, what can I say? That was a surprising result, I think, for many in terms of EnVy taking the initiative and really stamping their authority over HellRaisers.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I mean, HellRaisers is never known really for being heavy execute tactical teams. They've always been a lot about roaming and kind of trying to make opening plays, getting those kills, and EnVy was not giving them any freebies. So, yeah, I mean, end of the day, just a phenomenal play from EnVy.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like Naru just mentioned right now, HellRaisers aren't really well known to be a tactical team, so to speak. And then if you really look at EnVyUs, if you look at the players they have, Scream, Kiyoshima, RPK, Happy, if they get their guns going, which happened in this game, it's going to be pretty much a deathmatch. And it's Inferno, right? You can't kind of get rolled over, and it looked like at one point HR really didn't have any ideas of how to really go about things. And when you have like just 3 rounds on the T side, that's not quite enough to work with on the CT side, especially when you lose the pistol round as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, awesome, Natu and Blair. Remember, by the way, everybody, if you would like to see all the content we have on offer here from DreamHack Open Tour, to check out Snipe. Over there, you have a multi-view experience, highlights, and of course, exclusive content. All you need to do to find that is follow the link on screen now. It's dreamhack.com/digital pass. Go and check it out. Now, coming up after the break, we have our Group A winners match, and it's between Gambit and Godsent. We will see you back here very, very shortly.